Hey guys, I hope you're doing great. Today, let me explain you the concept of muscular hypertrophy, which means how you can gain muscle in an efficient, sustainable, fast way. So just give me a couple minutes of your time. I'm going to explain you exactly on this cool surface that I have here how muscular hypertrophy works. Okay, all I ask in return for this cool advice, I'm just about to share with you in some seconds, is to smash this like button so this channel here stays in good favor of the YouTube algorithm gods. Okay guys, let's just jump right into it. The way you need to think about muscular hypertrophy, you first need to know what is the difference between a small muscle and a bigger muscle. Okay, perfect drawing. Okay, let's write muscular hypertrophy. A little bit of a doctor's handwriting, but I hope you guys don't mind. So what it is, essentially, is the muscle fibers here, they increase in size. Okay, and if the muscle fibers increase in size, the total tissue increases in size. And the reason, the muscle fibers increase in size, they have a similar structure to what we see here. They have a similar structure to this, a similar structure to this, but in them, the myofibrils, they have more myofibrils in there, which means smaller fibers. Okay, this is a little bit in the weeds. But essentially what the difference is between those two, that these guys here, they have more elements, they are capable of creating force. Okay. In a lingo, in exercise physiology lingo, they call this more contractile elements. Let me explain this in a more straightforward example. The way you need to think about it, let's imagine you want to build a house. Beautiful house. Okay? This is like a kindergarten drawing. Okay, and you can go with two construction companies. One construction company has 3 workers. They could be working on your construction site on building your house. The other company has just 1. So all things equal, which one construction company would you go with? You would likely go with this one. And the reason you're going with this one, because they have a higher capacity to create your house in a shorter amount of time. But let's imagine that this company that has more workers only has 1 hammer and no manager. Yeah, perfect hammer. Okay, but no manager. And the other company has 1 hammer and 1 very good manager. Tie here, perfect, great. Supervising the other worker. So which one of those companies is probably more likely for you to create your house in the shorter amount of time? It's likely this company here, because it's the best structure. Okay, so if you compare this to the example that we have before, so what are the contractile elements here? The contractile elements, like the muscle fibers in this example, are the construction workers. So having more contractile elements, having more muscle fibers is generally always a good thing. But if you don't have a manager, meaning that's the brain, the neural system, this one is the muscle. Okay, great. And if you don't have the tools, meaning the right nutrition, or carbohydrates, or generally also blood flow to your muscles, they're of no use. So in this regard, this is how you need to think about muscles. The more muscles, the more construction workers you have for you to be able to create the goals you want to achieve in a short amount of time. However, if you don't have the sufficient back structure in place, if the central nervous system and let's imagine the blood flow, that's why sometimes people are bigger but not as strong. So what muscles are, our power potential. Okay, potential is a big one because you're not necessarily used to construction workers in the most efficient way. That's why you have the potential to be using them in this way, but it doesn't mean that you actually will. Now, for those of us that are physics geeks here, what power is power is work over time. Okay, and it usually has of watt, based on James Watt. You know, and this is a biggie here. What this shows us is if you want to maximize our muscle growth, if you want to maximize muscular hypertrophy, you first have to understand, okay, what are the physics behind it? And this right here is the physics of muscular growth, which means if we go, for example, like work, by the way, work, whoops, hit this, perfect. Work is Newton times time, times distance. Which means, what does this show us? The more range of motion we have when we're training, the more distance we have, which means the more work we are creating. So we need to have a good range of motion. What it also tells us is the more Newton, or like the more Newton is the weight that you're using essentially, times the acceleration of gravity. So, which means like the more weight we're using, the better. You know, so you need to aim for progression and need to aim to train in a high enough range of motion. But then we need to understand, okay, time. Which means the slower we do the repetition, the better it is, like the worse it is for our muscle growth. Which means our goal is to decrease the amount of time. Okay, which means super slow repetitions are not the way to go. Okay, so what we should be going instead is we should be training as explosive or like as fast as we can, especially in the positive movement. Meaning, for example, in a bench press, you get it down and then you push it up in a faster way. Okay, so this is muscular hypertrophy explained. You know, we have to understand, like, muscles are a power potential unit, and power is work over time, which means for us to maximize work, we have to have the best range of motion. We have to have the most weight that we can for like this specific, for our like current state, and we need to decrease the time. Meaning we shouldn't be aiming for super slow repetitions, and we need to train in an explosive manner in the positive movement part of the workouts. Okay guys, I really hope you like this video, like some nerd stuff. But if you like videos like this, smash the like button. If you want to see more of those videos, subscribe to this channel. If you want to get coached by me, I'm a vegan fitness coach. I help vegans get in the best shape of their life. You can click the link down below, watch my free training, or schedule a free call with me. Okay guys, see you next time.